Welcome to the World News. Interesting stories around the globe just for you. I'm Randolf Jamias here in Naypyidaw. Some diplomatic ties heads our stories. Panama's President Ricardo Martinelli laid a wreath at the mausoleum of Vietnam's late President Ho Chi Minh on Thursday during his 4-day visit to the country. The visit is the first to Vietnam by a head of state of Panama since the two countries established diplomatic ties on August 28, 1975. On Thursday, the two countries also signed agreements on cultural exchange and diplomatic memorandums. During the visit, Martinelli is scheduled to meet Vietnamese party chief Nguyen Phu Trong and Prime Minister Nguyen Thanh Son. These meetings are expected to boost cooperation and step up the implementation of the two countries' agreements in agriculture and science. The two countries have signed a number of cooperation agreements, including Visa Waiver Pact for diplomatic and official transport holders, a framework agreement on science technology cooperation, a maritime transport deal, and a memorandum of understanding on cooperation between the two agriculture ministries. Meanwhile, Brazil's President Dilma Rousseff said on Wednesday that her latest policies governing the country's auto industry would reduce the weight of imported vehicles in the world's fourth largest car market. A high tax on imported cars and auto parts aimed at protecting jobs in Brazil's auto industry has accelerated some investments in the country. The government has handed broad tax incentives to the auto industry to prevent layoffs and jumpstart a struggling manufacturing sector that dragged down the Brazilian economy to a near standstill. The auto sector makes up more than a fifth of the country's industrial output and 5% of its economy. Rousseff said that it was time for Brazilian auto industry to develop its own technology. In other news, South Korean civic groups sent medicine and underwear to North Korea on Thursday despite the tensions on the Korean peninsula. Korean umbrella NGOs, Council for Cooperation with North Korea, and the Korean Council for Reconciliation and Cooperation sent 12 types of medicines and 3,000 times of children's underwear to the victims of flooding parts of North Korea. 7 truckloads of aid were taken to a border city in Kaesong. North Korea has appealed for international help after being hit by flooding and typhoons, and South Korea has agreed to allow civilian groups to send essential aid to their reclusive country. Hundreds of thousands of North Koreans have been affected by the freak weather conditions. Looks like our beloved grandparents will have better time using their wheelchairs. Wheelchair users may soon have greater freedom of movement than ever before with the development of a new chair equipped not just wheels but legs as well. Invented by scientists at Japan's Chiba Institute of Technology, the chair is being prepared for commercial sale by the end of next year. Rob Muir reports.
It's a wheelchair that developer Shuro Nakajima says will transform the lives of the disabled. 4 robotic legs controlled by sensors can take the chair over and around obstacles too big or steep for conventional wheelchairs to negotiate. It can climb stairs and bridge gaps in paths or between a train and a platform.
When you leave the house to go to the station or to go shopping, this personal mobility vehicle has the ability to get you over obstacles you might find in town, whether that's steps, rough terrain, or gaps.
With a top speed of nearly 6 kilometers per hour, Nakajima's chair is attracting attention. It's controlled by a joystick with a Bluetooth-connected smartphone keeping track of the speed and sensing technology.
Each of the 4 wheels is independent of the others, so they can each react independently when the chair comes up across some sort of step. They aren't tied into responding in the same way at the same time. What that means is it can climb, whether it approaches the step straight on or at an angle. It's fine either way. In that sense, we've really pushed wheelchair technology forward.
Nakajima says he hopes to have his chair in production and ready for sale by the end of 2013. Projected price of about $25,000, he'll be aiming for the upper end of the mobility device market. But he says the freedom his chair will provide is priceless.
The Chongyang Festival this year is not only being celebrated by China, but also by Chinese all across the globe. While those Chinese in the mainland celebrate by having chrysanthemum wine and enjoying delicious tastes, local Chinese here in Myanmar have different traditions. Let's head to Yangon and find out more.
They gathered in Yangon City's Chinatown over the weekend and burned incense to pay respect to their ancestors and performed traditional dragon and lion dances. They also put on a blessing ceremony where people prayed for their families.
Let's have some news in the arts. Mexico's famed Museum of the Templo Mayor is gearing up to celebrate its 25th anniversary with a stunning display of Aztec artifacts found in Mexico City's historic center over the last 3 decades. The new exhibit includes some 24 artifacts and 150 images of discoveries made by Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History. The exhibit will feature 7 distinct sections, each showcasing the work of the center's various departments, such as the Templo Mayor Project and the Cultural Promotion Department. One of the most significant pieces is a large stone snake head that was discovered in 2011, which archaeologists believe was used for ritual ceremonies. Dr. Carlos Javier Gonzalez explained that the Templo Mayor Museum was built in 1987 to house archaeological discoveries which had been found and continue to be found in the area. The display will run until March 2013. Some updates at the tennis scene. Victoria Azarenka moved a step closer to securing the year-end #1 ranking with a 6-7, 7-6, 6-4 win over Germany's Angelique Kerber at the WTA Championships on Wednesday. Azarenka needed 3 hours and 6 minutes to repel Kerber, but Maria Sharapova's 5-7, 7-5, 7-5 win over Agnieszka Radwanska took even longer to complete the 3 hours and 12 minutes contest on Thursday morning. In another tight contest, #3 Serena Williams took down China's Li Na 7-6, 6-3 in 1 hour and 15 minutes. With their second wins of the championships, Sharapova and Williams both guaranteed themselves spots in the semifinals. Williams will meet Azarenka on Thursday in a repeat of this year's U.S. Open final, which Williams won. Thanks for watching. We'll be back shortly. Please stay with me.